About a month ago, we reacted to his story for the first time, and then we reacted to a couple times along with her story. This time, there is a creator by the name of His Asian Story, who we are going to be checking out today. Now, if y'all don't know, for some reason by now, I'm half Asian, half black, okay? So this is super interesting because I'm wondering, what could this possibly be about? This is just an Asian animator trying to make interesting stories. Sounds pretty wholesome. 62,000 subscribers, so he's still kind of up and coming. Not extremely small YouTuber, but not the biggest either. It looks like the Zach D film style 3D animation, so hopefully this is funny, entertaining. Shout out to our Asian brother over here, man. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's see if this is gonna be like super relatable or not.
Every lunch, I opened my mom's homemade dumplings. Before I could take a bite, the bully pinched his nose. Your food stinks. Then he knocked my lunch onto the floor. His friends laughed. The bully looked at me. What are you gonna do about it? I looked down, picked up every dumpling one by one. Then I said, not yet. The next day, he dumped my lunch into the garbage. What about now? Not yet. A week later, he shoved me into my locker. His friends surrounded me.
Yo, you're gonna take it like a good boy, dude? Yo, funny enough, this is relatable because whenever my mom would pack me school lunches, I was eating like fish. You know, a lot of Asian foods be fishy and stuff, and it does smell, but I was not getting my food smacked or anything or getting bullied like this. Shoved in lockers, dangled by my ankles, and my coins falling in my pockets, getting put in like toilets.
You gonna fight back? Not yet. They laughed even harder. Months passed, everyone thought I was scared. What nobody knew was every night I'd wake up and see the kitchen light on. My mom still wearing her work clothes, folding dumplings long after midnight. She had work the next morning, but she still made them every day. Before the sun came up, I was training, running, lifting, learning how to fight, because every morning I remembered those dumplings lying on the cafeteria floor.
Yo, does he have Sharingan? Why is one eye red?
And I trained harder. Then one Friday, he grabbed my lunch and threw it away before I even opened it. I looked down at the dumplings sitting in the garbage. He laughed. What? Your mom can just make more. Then he leaned closer. It's not like she has anything better to do.
Yo, you gotta whip his ass, bro.
For the first time, I looked him in the eyes. After school, he stopped laughing. What? You and me, we're done waiting. He smiled. You better call an ambulance. You're gonna need one after this. By the final bell, half the school was waiting outside. The bully stepped into the circle, laughing. He finally grew a spine. I took off my backpack and set it on the ground. I didn't say a word. He charged and threw the first punch, but I could see them, the punches, before they happened.
Oh my aura! Yo, he got the Byakugan, bro.
I ducked. Right hook. I stepped aside. Another punch. Missed. Another. Missed. Months of training made everything feel slower. The crowd started cheering. The bully got angrier.
Yo, there's no way this ever happened. I'm gonna be honest,
swung
bro.
Harder, faster, but he couldn't touch me. Then he stopped. He looked around and grabbed a brick. The crowd went silent. For the first time, I stopped moving because I realized dodging his punches wasn't enough. I had spent months learning how to avoid getting hurt. But
yo, gang, why are you moving like Bruce Lee, dude?
Didn't stop him, someone else would get hurt next. He charged, holding the brick above his head. I waited until the last second. Then I stepped forward and threw one punch right in his jaw. The brick fell from his hand. His eyes rolled back. His body went limp. He hit the pavement. I looked past him at every friend who laughed, who shoved me, who mocked my mom's cooking. One of them laughed. What are you looking at? I looked past him. Not you. The ambulance. I called for him.
Oh my aura! Oh my gosh. Let's be real, bro. That did not happen, bro. This is definitely an exaggerated ass story. There's no way. Now, you had me all the way until the bullying part, and then when you start dodging every single punch and being able to see the fraction of his movements in his hand as it goes past your face like your anime character, dude, you're not freaking Bruce Lee, Jet Li, none of them martial arts masters, dude. Brief intermission. If you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure you go ahead and smash the subscribe button. We're on the road to 400,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. His right eye is the Mangekyo Sharingan eye. Yeah, for some reason, one was right and one was blue. He had like the Rinnegan and the Mangekyo. That's got to be a Naruto reference. Goku, I heard you're strong. Yeah, bro, I don't know how he was moving like the way and expected us to believe that, bro.
Dog wouldn't stop barking at me over and over. I looked at his food bowl, empty. You hungry? I filled it. He didn't even look. He just kept barking. That wasn't normal. Every morning before I left for school, Milo waited by the front door. I scratched behind his ears, give him a treat, then he'd watch me leave. He never barked, never tried to stop me until today. He stepped in front of the door, barking. Then he grabbed—
Is there danger?
Grabbed my sleeve and started pulling. You need to go outside? I reached for his leash. He ignored it. So I opened the back door. Usually he'd sprint into the yard. This time he didn't move. He just looked at me, then barked again. What do you want? I grabbed his favorite tennis ball, the one he never ignored. I tossed it. It rolled right past him. He didn't even look. Instead, he ran down the hallway, stopped outside my mom's bedroom, and barked again. I saw—
Yo, he's trying to tell you something about your mom, man.
My mom always sleeps in. Leave her alone. He barked louder. I walked over. Milo, keep this up and you're not getting treats. But he didn't care. He started scratching at our bedroom door hard. I never seen him do that before. So I grabbed his collar.
Something about, I feel like animals, they have this intuition, bro. They just know you gotta follow them. Like, I have cats, right? And sometimes my cats will get like all like fixated on something. And that's how I know there's something there that I'm not seeing. It's not like my first instinct is to tell me that the animals are tripping. It's like I'm probably tripping because their instincts are better than mine, bro.
I smiled. world. You deserve the whole bag.
Facts, he deserves the world, bro. Actually, though, how did he know? Was he able to, like, smell it or something? And what happened to the mom? Did she, like, get some type of disease? Did she have an infection? They never explained that.
He spat out the dumpling. Everyone in the restaurant went silent because this wasn't just anyone.
Yo, why is it the second time we've seen dumplings? Do y'all eat anything else, bro? There's so many different Asian foods in the world. Every time it's dumplings, really?
He's the world's most famous competitive eater. And after one bite, he looked at my mom and said, "This is the worst dumpling I've ever had." My mom didn't say anything because deep down, she knew her restaurant was already struggling. Some days we didn't even sell 10 dumplings.
Damn.
But what he didn't know was that this restaurant was the last thing my dad left us. My parents opened this place together. They spent years building it. Every table, every recipe, every corner of the restaurant held a memory of him. But after
not only with this restaurant, though, in real life, a lot of them local restaurants, this is the story behind them, bro. Make sure y'all are supporting local businesses in general because a lot of them are passed down, some of them are struggling, etc. And the food be good, but they don't really get a chance because they're not Wingstop or Walmart or Kroger's and the commercial franchises that have so much money they can pump inside of it, you know?
After my dad passed away, my mom kept it running alone. Even when business slowed down, even when it got harder every year, she refused to let go.
Damn.
Then the competitive eater stood up. Before leaving, he pointed at the biggest dumpling on the menu. "I'll make you a deal. If someone here can finish that, I'll tell my followers this is the best dumpling shop I've ever been to. But if they fail, you close this place."
Yo, I'm swallowing that thing whole right there.
My mom
10-pound dumpling? Sign me up.
immediately refused. "We're not risking our restaurant." He smirked. I figured, then turned toward the door. "Wait, I'll do it." My mom grabbed my arm. "You've never done anything like this." I looked at the empty tables, then at her.
Yo, look at the angles, though. Look at how this video is like kind of fire.
"If I don't, we lose anyway." She closed her eyes and then quietly nodded. A giant bamboo steamer was placed in front of me. Inside was one massive dumpling.
Damn.
The timer started 60 minutes. The first few bites were easy. Then my stomach started fighting back. Every bite was harder than the last. Halfway
Bro, am I tripping? This should look easy as hell. Like, bro, this looks like the size of like a calzone, bro. I'm eating this easy, bro. Dumplings are good too.
through, the competitive eater leaned back, smiling. I knew it, but I kept eating. One bite, then another. Soon, only a quarter remained. His smile disappeared. He stood up, walked over, and accidentally knocked my water onto
He ain't accidentally do nothing, bro. It's on purpose.
the dumpling. It soaked straight through, making every bite twice as heavy. He
Damn.
shrugged. "Oops." My mom reached for the plate. "That's enough." "Not yet." 5 minutes, 3 bites. 1 minute, 1 bite. The timer started beeping.
Okay.
5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. I swallowed the final bite. The competitive eater stared at the empty plate, then laughed. "Fake. You switched the dumpling. There's no way a kid."
You watched him the whole time, bro. Okay.
Finished that. Then he stormed out the front door. His cameraman never moved. He looked down at his camera, then said, "I got everything." That
Damn.
night, he uploaded the footage, the cheating, the excuses, everything. By the next morning,
Low-key L homie, dude. What? You gonna go behind your homies back and do it? Hey, screw it, bro.
millions of people had watched a famous competitive eater lose, then blame a kid for cheating. A week later, people lined up around the block. My mom looked out the window. "Do you think they're here for the challenge?" I looked at the customers walking out, carrying boxes of dumplings. "They came for the challenge. They'll come back for your dumplings."
Damn.
He spat out.
Okay, I want to see at the end were the dumplings actually as bad as he said, though, because he said they were nasty.
My dad stood up in the middle of the audience and walked out. I'd never seen him leave a competition before. My brother never showed up. Nobody knew why. Not even me. Every time my brother missed a note, my dad would stop him and say, "Again." Sometimes
Yo, this is such a canon event in an Asian household, bro. If you're like in an Asian household, I feel like 90% of the time the kid will be forced to play some type of instrument. It's just how it is.
spend 20 minutes.
That or you're put in something called Kumon, which is like extra tutoring after school type of thing to advance you in certain subjects. If you ain't playing piano or studying hard, you're kind of rendered useless.
It's playing the same 10 seconds over and over. Then, the moment he finally got it right, my dad would smile. "That's my son." Every competition, my parents sat in the front row. Every trophy went into the cabinet above our fireplace. Sometimes I'd stand there, imagining one with my name on it. I wanted to learn piano too, not because I loved music, because I wanted my parents to look at me the way they looked at him. Then, one afternoon,
That's just sad, though. Your parents putting all your value into instruments and performance in school. It's so sad. And something that, like, a lot of Asian parents, they just don't understand, bro. Parents in general, too. Like, brother, be there for your child emotionally. That matters way more. Then when the kid becomes an adult, the parents will wonder why the kid doesn't come back or the relationship isn't as good. And it's like, dude, we barely even had like a family bond.
and piano arrived. I couldn't stop smiling. I thought, finally, this one's for me. But my dad never called me downstairs. Days turned into weeks. The piano stayed untouched, except by my brother. Every afternoon, he practiced 4 hours without missing a day. Whenever I walked toward the piano, he'd stop me. Dad said, "I'm practicing." Then he'd close the door. Eventually, I stopped asking. Until years later, I finally asked my mom, "Why didn't dad ever teach me?" She looked down, then quietly said, "The day the second piano arrived, your dad told your brother, 'Now both both my boys can become pianists.
Okay.
Your brother looked at him and said, if he has to practice, I'm done. Your dad laughed. He thought your brother was bluffing. He wasn't.
Was he hating or was he trying to save him?
Skipped the biggest competition of his life. Then he refused to touch the piano. Days passed, then weeks. Your dad begged him to play again. Your brother only said one thing. You'll have one pianist or none. The next
Damn, okay, is he a hater again or is he trying to like save him from not needing to play the piano?
And he sat back down and practiced for another 8 years. I looked at my mom, but why? Her eyes filled with tears. He knew exactly what those 4 hours felt like. He wanted you outside, riding your bike, playing with your friends.
I had a feeling, W brother right here.
Even the childhood he never had. That's when I looked at the trophy cabinet, and for the first time, I didn't envy it. I understood, but every trophy had really cost. My entire childhood, I thought my brother had everything. I never.
Damn, I would feel so bad, bro. I would feel like I would owe it all to my brother to be successful, and then when I am successful, help him out, because he's forced to sit here freaking play the piano like he's clocked into a McDonald's shift every day.
Realized he gave it all up so I wouldn't have to. My dad.
Wow, W brother.
Snorted ramen noodles through my nose for the 5th time that week because one.
What type of Huh? Yo, nobody does this, dude.
Once they realized it.
Yo, this is gonna become a new stereotype or something, bro. Some kid is gonna use this to bully some Asian kid. Be like, yo, you snort noodles in your nose. Nobody does this, dude.
Happened when I laughed. The bullies turned it into a game. They'd hand me food, tell me to eat it, then do everything they could to make me laugh.
Dude.
They all thought I was just some fat kid who couldn't stop eating. What they didn't know was every meal started at home. Every morning before school, I'd cook, taste it, adjust it, taste it again until it was perfect. It had to be because my mom had been sick for years. The medicine changed how food tasted. If one flavor was even slightly off, she wouldn't eat. So every day I learned exactly how much soy sauce.
Yo, W son right here. This soy sauce bottle also very iconic.
Exactly how much salt, exactly how much sesame oil. Then I'd eat breakfast with her, eat lunch at school, and finish whatever she couldn't. She always smiled and said food shouldn't be wasted. By the end of every day, I'd eaten enough for 2 people.
Damn.
The next morning, our principal announced, after school, we're holding a cooking competition. First prize, $1,000. 1 month of mom's medicine. I wrote my name down.
And you've been cooking for a minute too. Wait, did he write his name as Asian? I guess.
We saw it and burst out laughing. The fat kid, I guess eating counts as practice.
Yes, bro, what? If there was me and I had to pick the best cooks and I had no idea anybody's skill level, I'm picking mostly fat people. Is that crazy? I feel like they would have the best taste and know what is better compared to somebody who is like really skinny.
After school, the competition began. I made mom's fried rice, the same fried rice I'd cooked hundreds of times. Halfway through, I turned around to grab another egg, and when I looked back, one of the bullies had emptied an entire bag of white powder into my wok. The crowd gasped.
What is that?
He's putting chemicals in his food. Even the judges started whispering. I picked up the bag, MSG. I couldn't help but smile because
He just made it better, bro. Yo, if y'all don't know about MSG, MSG is like the one and only like everything all-purpose flavor enhancer. If you want your food to taste better, just put a little MSG. They used to have like some type of stigma because I think it was like racist stuff, honestly. But people would say this gives you like cancer or something, bro. You put it in your food, it makes it taste better.
in our house, MSG wasn't the problem. Too much of it was. I tasted the fried rice. Not yet. Too salty, too strong. Most people would have thrown it away. But I'd spent years fixing food before my mom ever took a bite. I grabbed another pan, added more rice, more eggs, more vegetables, then balanced it with soy sauce, sesame oil, and a little garlic. Then a final touch of spring onions. Every ingredient had a
That should look fire. Yo, fried rice is gas. Amazing.
purpose, just like my mom taught me. The bullies thought they ruined my dish, but they didn't realize they were testing the exact thing I'd practiced every single day.
Damn.
The judges tasted it. One looked at the other,
The aura.
then back at me. The balance is incredible.
The aura.
Another judge smiled. Who taught you to cook like this? I looked over at the bullies, then answered, eating. The same kids who laughed every lunch couldn't even look at me. Then the judges announced the winner, me. Turns out eating was practice.
Feels the aura, bro. Man, shout out to him though for the fact that he was able to learn from feeding and tending to his sick mother. That's so honorable. And now you have the money for her medicine.
I handed my dad my report card. He stared at it, then walked into the garage. A few seconds later, I heard metal scraping across the concrete, and something heavy slammed into the wall.
Oh
I stood
my
outside
God.
the garage door, too scared to open it. The only thing on my report card was 1B. Up until
Dude. Yo, it's actually like this. B's days were bad, bro. In my household, B's were like okay as long as I wasn't getting them too many times, bro. I wasn't in an Asian household where it's like you have to get all A's or you're genuinely like cooked, you're getting beat and you're disowned, bro. If I got like a B or 2, it was fine, but I needed to get most of the A's. But like this is crazy.
Until then, I'd never gotten anything below an A. That night, I barely slept. All I could think about was what my dad was doing behind that door. The next morning, I finally opened the garage. The ping pong table was gone, and so was my paddle. The one he'd given me when I was 6.
Is he making a device to like beat you with, or is he just taking away your
I
stuff?
looked through every closet, every cabinet until I spotted it, sitting on my dad's shelf. I reached for it, but he stopped me. You're done playing.
Damn.
I looked at him. Because of 1B, he didn't answer. He said, help me set the table back up. We played our
Wait, now I'm confused. Did he take away the table because When he was younger, his dad took away the table?
First game together, and this time, neither of us kept score.
I'm confused.
He handed me a black envelope. Inside was enough money that my mom would never have to work again. He
Are we about to join the Squid Games, bro? What? Hold on.
said, one job, that's all. I looked down at the envelope
Wait.
and I remembered every night I ate cup ramen alone. My mom wouldn't get home until after midnight. She worked 3
Shit, cup ramen could be worse. I like cup ramen.
jobs just to keep the lights on. A year earlier, my dad stood at our front door. He looked at my mom, then at me, and said, I'm going to fix this. Then he left. A year passed, still no calls, no letters, nothing. One afternoon, everyone at school was opening the new Pokemon packs. I asked my mom if I could have one too.
Okay.
She smiled. We'll see. The next morning, one was waiting on my desk. I ran downstairs to thank her, but she was already gone. I opened the fridge.
Y'all gotta respect your parents who are working long shifts just to make you happy and are able to buy you gifts and stuff like that. Dude, the amount of work they put in, bro.
There was almost nothing inside. That's when I realized
This man had a small bottle of soy sauce, a banana, and an empty container. Dude, I don't know what you about to do with the soy sauce and banana. I don't know what dish you can make with that. I think this guy's Chinese because he eats dumplings a lot. And dumplings are typically Chinese. Is there a Chinese soy sauce banana meal that I don't know about?
she skipped groceries so I could fit in. That day, I decided I'd make enough money so she'd never have to work again.
Oh,
That
no.
night, 5 of us drove through an empty street. One of them pulled out a zip tie, then pointed at me. Tie his hands.
Yo, deadass, are we joining the Squid Games, bro?
I
Deadass.
frowned. Who's yours? Before I could react, they grabbed me. That's when I realized I wasn't part of the mission. I was the mission.
Oh my
Before
God.
anyone could move, gunshots echoed through the street. The man beside me dropped. Then another. Then another. Within seconds, I was the only one left. Heavy footsteps echoed toward me. A man stepped out of the darkness.
It's his dad.
His face hidden. He cut the zip ties off my wrists, and the black envelope fell from my pocket. His shoulders dropped. They gave you one too. I stared at him. How do you know what this is? He slowly pulled down his mask. Dad? He closed his eyes. I was supposed to come home tomorrow. Then headlights appeared at the end of the street. He glanced behind me. They found us. He pulled the pistol from his jacket, checked the magazine, then looked back at me. They gave me the same envelope. I left so I could make enough money for our family.
Yo,
When
this is deadass Squid Games, bro.
I finished. I
Right?
told them I was done. They smiled. I thought they were letting me leave. The next morning, I found out they recruited a new kid. His voice began to shake. Then I saw your name. My heart stopped. You were never the new recruit. You were my hostage. They knew I'd never leave if they had you. So before they could bring you to me, I found them first. Car doors started slamming shut, one after another. He tore the envelope in half. Go. What about you?
What happened to the money? Take the money.
He looked at me. I left so you and your mom could have a better life. I'm not letting them take that away. He pushed me toward the alley. I turned back. Dad!
I mean, that still doesn't solve his problem of him eating freaking banana soy sauce meals and being broke as hell and his mom only being able to afford Pokemon packs or his dinner.
Smiled, then raised his pistol. A week later, someone knocked on our front door. My mom opened
Dude, that sounded so realistic, that knock.
it and couldn't move. She thought she was seeing a ghost. My dad had finally come home. That night, for the first time in over a year, the 3 of us ate dinner together. He handed
That
me
dinner looked kind of fire. What was that?
a group from the biggest dojo in town walked through our doors. Their master looked around and laughed. 3 people using an entire dojo? You're wasting this place. My dad lowered his head. He was ready to leave.
Oh shit, it's Japanese. Okay, okay. Yo, I'm Japanese.
Before he could, I stepped forward. Then fight for it. The room went silent. Their master smiled. One match. Your best student against mine. No weapons, no interference. Next week. My dad grabbed my shoulder.
Yo, people would think you walk in Japan and this is like the average experience, bro. This gotta be set in like the 1900s, bro. This is not happening nowadays. You walk into somebody's dojo and you challenge them like this.
What are you doing? You've never even sparred. He wasn't wrong. Every morning my dad called me outside, time to train. But training never lasted long. My little sister always waited beside us. She dreamed of learning too, but
Okay.
she couldn't. She was born with an immune disease. So instead, my dad taught us something else. Again, we breathed in, slow.
You know what this reminds me of? Have y'all seen Demon Slayer? It reminds me of Akaza, I think his name. I think it was the girl who had like a sickness and then he fights at a dojo. If you know what I'm talking about, you know.
Then out again. He'd always say when your breathing stays calm, your mind does too. Some days my sister could barely finish, so I counted every breath with her so she wouldn't have to do it alone. After that, I prepared her medicine, cooked her meals, then climbed the mountain behind our village, carrying 2 heavy buckets. At the very top was the only spring with water clean enough for
Bro,
her
is this inspired by Demon Slayer?
treatments. Every day I carried those buckets home, then woke up and did it again. For 7 days, my dad taught me how to fight. Then the day of the duel arrived. The best student stepped forward. He was twice my size. We bowed, then he attacked. Fast.
Oh,
powerful.
damn.
Every punch,
Oh,
every
damn.
kick missed by inches. I never swung back. I just moved again and again. The crowd
Yo,
started
he is actually moving like the wind here.
whispering, then laughing. His confidence started disappearing. Technique became frustration. Frustration became anger. His punches got wider. His kicks got slower. His breathing turned into gasps. Mine never changed. I could still hear my dad. When your breathing stays calm, your mind does too.
Flow
Finally,
state.
he screamed, "Stop running!" That's when one of his teammates threw him a sword. The crowd gasped. He'd broken the rules. I looked toward before the
A sword in a hand-to-hand combat fight?
master waiting for him to stop the match. He didn't. Then I heard another voice, catch. I turned. My sister was standing, holding our old wooden practice sword. She
No way, dude.
smiled and tossed it to me. My dad always said a sword doesn't beat another sword. The person holding it does.
Nah, get that shit out of here, bro. A gun beats all. This is the type of stuff that they say in movies when another dude has a gun and you have thoughts, prayers, hopes, and dreams and a stick. That's not gonna work, dude. A realistic fight, you're dying to that sword. The sword is cutting that wooden stick in half and you're gonna die right there and get beheaded.
Charged, one step, one strike. His blade split in half. Silence. I looked at my dad, then at my sister. I raised my fist.
You expect me to believe this, bro? You split his blade with a wooden stick. Yeah, all right, bro. Give me things that didn't happen for 500, please.
And got 2 in return. A group.
Okay, dude. Hold up. Is it just me or this reminds me about Akaza's story? I knew I was not tripping, dude. I knew it.
Put on my headset, ready to game with my friends. But I quickly realized it wasn't my friends I was hearing. It was 2 men, mid-sentence. The store closes at 10. The other replied, good. The owner's son usually stays behind to lock up. My hands froze because my parents owned a store. Just a few minutes away from my house, they had a Japanese restaurant. And every night after school, I helped them close. I leaned closer to my headset and then I heard the back entrance doesn't have a camera. My stomach dropped. They went,
how the hell are you hearing this on your PC gaming setup, though?
Talking about some random store. They were talking about mine. I immediately messaged my friends, get online right now. Within minutes, 4 of them joined my lobby. But
We're cracking this crime on Discord. All right.
that was my biggest mistake.
All right.
Because I heard the sound coming through their mic. They heard, and my heart stopped. The voices on the other end went completely silent. Then one of the men said, did you hear that? Nobody spoke. The other man replied, someone's listening. My entire body went cold. They knew. I instantly disconnected the call. I called my parents. No answer. I called again. Nothing. I
Yeah,
got
they're held hostage right now.
my bike and raced toward the store. The entire way there, I kept telling myself I was overreacting. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe it wasn't my store. But when I turned the corner, I saw the front door wide open. The lights were still on and something was wrong. Shelves had been knocked over. Glass was scattered across the floor. The cash register was open. But the strangest part was that nobody was there. No customers, no employees, no parents. I ran behind the counter calling their names. Mom, Dad, nothing. Then I noticed something on the floor. Footprints.
Okay.
Fresh, muddy footprints leading from the entrance straight toward
They're in the back waiting, so you gotta get a gun, bro.
the back room. I slowly followed them. My
Get a
hands
gun.
were shaking because when I looked back, I realized something. My own footprints were everywhere, going in and coming back out. But those footprints only went one direction, toward the back room. Whoever made them never left. I put
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, that is scary.
Every Tuesday, my math tutor waited outside my school. He was always there 5 minutes early. Rain, snow, it didn't matter. Every lesson ended the same way. He pat me on the shoulder and said,
Yo, only an Asian YouTuber would make a story time video about a freaking math tutor. All right, bro.
hey, I'm proud of you. I always thought that was a strange thing for a math tutor to say. Whenever I got a question right, he smiled like he'd won something. And when I got one wrong, he never got frustrated. He'd just say, let's try again. One afternoon, I asked him, why do you care so much? He looked at me for a long time.
Because I'm your dad.
Then said, because I know what you're capable of.
Oh.
He never explained. After every lesson, he stood by the front door of his old rundown house, watching me walk all the way home. Only after I disappeared did he go back inside. I never understood why. Then,
He
one
just cares about you a lot. Maybe he's a good guy.
day, halfway through our lesson, I asked, can I use your bathroom? He nodded. Second door on the left. While I was washing my hands, I opened the top cabinet looking for paper towels. But when I went to open it, something fell out. A photograph slipped onto the floor and I picked it up. It was me, maybe
Oh my God, he's your daddy.
3 years old, sitting on someone's shoulders. I turned it over and on the back were 2 words, my son. My heart stopped. I walked back into the living room holding the picture. Why do you have this? The color drained from his face. For
Yo, look at his face.
a moment, he didn't say anything. Then he quietly said, I always wondered how long it would take. I stared at him. What are you talking about? He pulled out a chair and slowly sat down. I wasn't always your math tutor. I'm your father. I couldn't
Oh my
speak.
gosh.
He looked at the photograph. The accident took your memories. The doctor said the surgery would cost more than I could ever afford. The only family who could save you wanted to adopt you. So I
That's messed up. What the huh? If I can't save this kid, I'm gonna adopt him. And if I don't adopt him, guess what? He dies. I would not give my kid. Actually, you know what? I think I would give my kid up just to save them. But that's actually so messed up. And I would tell the kid that you're my kid as soon as they heal him up.
I signed the papers because losing you was better than burying you. I felt my eyes fill with tears. Then why didn't you tell me? He looked away. You finally had the childhood I always wanted you to have. I couldn't take that away. So instead, I settled for being your math tutor. That's when I realized every Tuesday he wasn't teaching me algebra. He was spending the only hour each week he got to be my dad.
Damn, that's so sad. But at least you know for sure your dad dad's a real one.
And every time he said, "I'm proud of you," he wasn't talking to a student. He was talking to his son.
Damn, that's so heavy. I still feel like he should have said something earlier, though.
He threw his microphone at our stylist. Nobody said a word. Not me, not the staff, not even our manager, because he knew exactly how much power he had. Every concert, the loudest screams were for him. He smiled for the cameras, signed every autograph.
Yo, who is this dude? Jungkook, bro?
Told every fan, "I love you." Then the second the cameras turned off, everything changed. Where's my food? Why am I waiting? Do your job. Every day, someone
Yo,
new.
there's gotta be somebody in the K-pop industry who's like this. Nice as hell, just... And then as soon as the cameras get off, they're like all mean and stuff.
Went home crying. I just kept telling myself, make it to payday. My little sister needed surgery. One more paycheck and she'd finally have it. I finally asked our manager, why don't we kick him out? He looked at me, then said, if he leaves, so do the fans.
Damn.
So I stayed quiet. The next day, he walked into rehearsal, looked at all of us and smiled. Remember, without me, this group is nothing. Nobody argued. Not because we agreed, because we were scared he was right. 3 days later, we started rehearsing for the biggest concert of our careers. He stopped the music, looked at our manager, and smiled. I've changed my mind about my contract. The room went silent. He crossed his arms, cut everyone's share, and give it to me.
Yo, who does this guy think he is, bro? We gotta whip him, bro. Put him... Just give him some discipline right there.
One of the dancers actually laughed, thinking he was joking. He wasn't. No raise, no concert. I looked at our manager, waiting for him to finally say no. Instead, he lowered his head, then nodded. Do it. One by one, we signed. Every dollar he took was one less for my little sister's surgery. He smiled. I knew you'd make the right choice. Then, the night of our biggest concert, our sound engineer handed me my microphone.
Okay.
Remember, switch it off backstage. I smiled. I won't forget. The concert ended. The crowd erupted. He walked backstage. I followed him. My microphone was still on. He slammed the dressing room door. Where's my money? I carried this
Oh, he's about to get exposed bad.
entire show. And someone get me my food. I want out of this dump. I've got a club to get to. He kept yelling at the dancers, the stylists, the makeup artists, everyone. Then he stopped. They were shouting. At first he smiled, thinking the fans wanted more. Then he listened. They don't need you. Again, louder. They don't need you. He
You're exposed, buddy. It's over.
looked up at the arena speakers. His face
Your natural egg, yo, is not saving you, dude.
went pale. He ran back onto the stage. 20,000 fans were chanting, "They don't need you." He looked at me, terrified. What did you do? I smiled. Nothing. You always said you made this group. Now let's see how you do without
On
me.
your own, damn. I really feel like in the K-pop industry, there's probably somebody like this. Because I've heard of like different videos and cases about like stuff like the Burning Sun, I think the club thing, where there's some like K-pop dude at the head of it. There's got to be some scandal like this out there. I just don't know about it. Either way, that's gonna do it for today's video. That was the Asian version of his story, his Asian story. With that being said, it's Love Your Law. I love you, and I'm out.